Yo, what's up everybody? How's it going? Today I want to show you guys Noita. Noita being a new roguelike that got released on early access recently. Now, I mentioned before that I kind of want to make videos on, new games as they come out, especially kind of like indie PC titles. That's really what I'm interested in. And, well, this kind of like see this as hopefully the first in the series. It's something that I think is really interesting. I'm already working on the next one and I already know what I want to do afterwards. So yeah, but this is Noita. Now, I do want to make one thing clear. These videos right here, they're not sponsored in any way, right? Like, I know I've been doing some sponsored videos recently, but I really want to make absolutely clear that the videos in this kind of video series, where I just kind of like do a bit of a review on them, not sponsored, just my opinion, just what I think about them, right? Cool, awesome. So what is Noita? Well, Noita is a roguelike, right? It has a lot of secrets in it. I'm going to go and start with that right away. Like, this game has a lot of secrets in it, and I'm not going to cover them. I think that's up to you to find, right? Like, we could go into the details on the secrets, but I feel like that would ruin it a bit for you. So what we're going to talk about is just the core mechanics and kind of like what the game is generally like. You can see it's a pixel art. I have to say, I personally don't find it the most attractive pixel art, but it works for what it is. This game has some very interesting elements, but let's go ahead and get started with the basic gameplay first, right? This is our little tutorial. I think it's kind of cute how it's made. So with F, we kick. Right, this is something that not necessarily the most useful for combat, but something that works kind of decently well. With I or with Tab, you can open up your inventory. In the inventory, you will find we have two wands, we have some items, and we have spells. And then also, you can circle through it with 1 and 2, right? Or I guess with 5, which is where our current flask of water is. And yeah, now, how do these wands work? Well, they're guns. We can shoot stuff. Now, this is already something where you can see one of the first really, really interesting elements of Noita, and that is that it's got kind of this environmental destruction theme and environmental interactables. Honestly, it's the most interesting part. Well, actually, one of the two most interesting parts. We'll talk about the second really interesting part later. For now, you can fly. By the way, you just kind of like have this jetpack or hover, whatever it is. Honestly, you're supposed to be a wizard or a witch in this game, but I don't know. It's just like this game would like honestly feel quite at home, I think, in a kind of like space setting as well. You've got your jetpack and you've got your gun that you shoot. But it's kind of interesting that they decided to make it, like kind of like a wizarding magic setting. Anyway. So, being a roguelike, of course, when you die, you lose the game, right? Like, you reset all of your progress. There's no progress being saved. And, well, in this game, you just kind of like explore a dungeon, try to get as far as you can. You become more powerful as you go through the dungeon. And then, you just kind of like hope to win the video game that way, right? Anyway. For now, we're gonna go ahead and start fighting. So you can see there's some enemies. Every enemy will drop this gold right here, although it can sometimes be a bit tricky to collect. Now, you can see enemies are also dropping blood. And on my character, you can see there's water, right? Like there's a blue drop and a red drop. The blue one being water, the red one being blood. These different kind of like elements have different effects. So, for example, water right here helps protect you from fire. And blood increases, well, also protects you from fire, but also increases your chance for critical strikes. Now, the way this works is that it doesn't just apply to you. It actually applies to all enemies. Right, to anything. And you can just kind of like abuse that. So, as I mentioned before, this game has different environmental interactables. So this right here is a lamp, right? And if we shoot this, then it falls down and then spilled oil everywhere. If we stand in it, then we might get a little bit of oil on it ourselves. No, and it's not quite enough for that. But as you can see, now it's starting to burn. And there was wood here, and there's coal here. And this is just going to burn now. It's just going to disappear. Right? And you can combine these different elements. So, for example, if I were to get set on fire, then I want to jump into water or blood to get rid of that. Because, that helps put out the fire. And you can take damage from these environmental effects. This right here is oil, right? So now I'm doused in oil. And if I get near anything fiery, I'm going to be put on fire very easily. Also, I'm a little bit slippery when I walk around, which is kind of funny. Anyway, we got ourselves a bomb wand right here as well. We currently just got this basic one and then some bombs. Oh, this is actually really bad. Ooh, okay. Let's kind of try and be a bit careful. We're being chased by some dangerous enemies here, and we don't really have that much to defend ourselves with, and we might be dead. Okay. Alright, I don't want to jump in here this early, but I didn't really have much of a choice. So this is kind of like, I guess, the end goal of your run, right? Like you want to always go to the bottom of the area and then jump into this portal. And then you get into this room where you can get yourself some health. And then you can also refresh your spells, which is relevant for spells that have a limited capacity. And then you have a store where you can buy stuff. So we can buy a quadruple scatter spell, anti-gravity, dormant crystal, dormant flamethrower, or burst of air. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a flamethrower, why not? Now, what do we do with these? Well, let's go ahead and show what you can do. You can edit once in this store. There's also a perk that allows you to just edit once permanently, but we'll get to that. For now, you can see that this one right here, it works like this, right? It has a capacity, it has a capacity of 3. Spread 0, which you can see right there. Shuffle, no. Let me go ahead and go from the top, right? Shuffle means doesn't randomize in which order the spells are cast. Yes means yes, no means no, right? Then, spells per cast. How many spells does it cast whenever it does cast? So in this case, it casts once. Cast delay. What's the delay between casts? And recharge time. What's the recharge time after it has cast all of its spells? Then, how much mana does it have at maximum? And how much mana does it regenerate? And then finally, how many spells can you have in it, and what's the spread when you cast them? So you can see these two wands, they actually have different, different values here. Now, this one usually houses the bomb. But, for example, if I were to put in this spark bolt, so right now this wand looks like this, right? And this wand, with the same kind of layout right here, with only one spark bolt equipped, looks like this. And that's what makes this game interesting. You can pick up different wands and different spells as you go through and then edit them to create your own weapons. And it's really, really cool. So, this right here is actually a pretty neat way to kind of create a good early game weapon that just allows you to fight. We've got this flamethrower thing picked up, right? So we can put this in here. Now, flamethrower describes users remaining. So we got 60 times that we can use this. Mana drain 20. And then it describes what's the damage, what's the explosion radius, and all of that stuff, right? What does it look like? Looks like this. But we do not have the mana to really sustain it. Not with this wand anyway. If we swap over to this wand, right, we can kind of do something like that. We are burning through our flamethrower effect. And to be honest, we might just leave it at that. We can kind of like go with something like this. Nah, let's get rid of the spark bolt. Doesn't really seem too important. Now, I'm going to go ahead and reset my spells. And here we are. So, let's get ourselves a perk. You also always get a perk. Now, these perks are a variety of different things. We've got exploding corpses, bouncing spells, or homing shots. Homing shots might actually work pretty well with our flamethrower, so let's go ahead and pick that up. And then we're moving into the next area. Now, because I was forced to kind of like move into the next area so quickly, I expect that we're probably not going to make it very far, but that's okay. We can do more than one run, right? I want you guys to have a good impression of what this game is like. All right, anyway, we got ourselves our flamethrower now. Now, keep in mind, this only has 60 shots. So ooh, this is not good. So we have to be a little bit careful with, where these shots go and what we do with them. But admittedly, 60 is quite a bit, so it's not the harshest thing in the world. It's also fire, so you can see this right here is a pile of coal, and we can just put it on fire. And honestly, I think this is one of the great innovations in this game, right? If I were to let me go ahead and shoot you really quick. Right, but if I were to really describe this game, I think this game is a fantastic kind of like sandbox game for people that already like roguelikes. Hey, Lord Gargo, thank you very much for the 2 months. I feel like this game isn't necessarily going to convince you to play a roguelike if you don't like the genre. And honestly, if you don't like roguelikes, I don't think Noita is for you. I don't think Noita is going to convince you otherwise. But if you already like the genre, I think this game is fantastic because it does a lot of things that I have to say I personally always was kind of looking for, right? Like, I think that they are really neat. Like, for example, this kind of environmental destruction, and as well as just having a lot more control over how you build your character. So we found a magic wand down there, but because I unequipped my bombs, because I only have 2 magic wands, yeah, we're gonna have to see if we can maybe work our way down there in a different fashion, right? Although, of course, this is gonna be maybe a little bit tricky. Alright, I'm trying to... Ooh, we're kind of taking a lot of damage. Alright, let's use this bad boy for a little bit. Ooh, kind of out of mana. That's okay. Just kind of keep shooting. Right, so our jetpack. And, ooh, okay, this is not gonna end well. Alright, there's the wand. We're not gonna make it. We're gonna go ahead and just see if we can maybe jump into the water here. And shoot our fireballs. Well, you know, it's a flamethrower. I guess it doesn't work. So, now we're dead. And now we're gonna go ahead and start our next run. One thing that I want to point out about this game that I don't really like is that a new game doesn't start a new run. I mean, it kind of does. But it actually just restarts the entire game. It just like closes it and restarts it. That's how they start a new run. And in my personal opinion, I think that's not necessarily the best way to do it. Admittedly, I know, the game is still in development, right? And so things will have to be, will change as they do just go ahead and continue developing the game. And I think that's totally fine. And that's sure. But at the same time, was this really the best possible solution? I kind of doubt that. Like, this is just kind of weird, you know? But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put down a bomb up here really quick so we can make it to that magic one. Right, just work our way through this. And let's see if this is something good. So this is kind of an interesting one. It basically acts as a freezing field. Right, you can read about it here, but there we go. Circle stillness, field of freezing magic. You can see, even when you don't have vision on things, the game kind of shows you where stuff is, where stuff of relevance is. So this right here indicates a magic wand. If it's the smaller colored sparks, that indicates a potion. And then we also have this now. Now we have a spell that helps us see even more, which is kind of neat. Oh, look at that. All right, we definitely want that. So that's additional HP. Although it is kind of hidden with an additional little present of an enemy that's quite scary, but that's where our bomb comes in. You know, bomb is pretty damn good. Now, we're currently on fire, which isn't ideal, but we do have water, so we can just go ahead and squirt some water on ourselves, and there we go. Perfect. We are no longer on fire. This game, honestly, when I started playing it, one of my main problems with it, and I actually had recorded a separate video on this game, like I re-recorded, this is basically my second video on it, but I had recorded a separate video on it where I kind of complained about it was very easy to just put yourself on fire or step into acid or do a whole variety of different things by accident. I didn't really like that too much. But that's, I guess, something that the creators agreed with. And now it's no longer so easy to just accidentally put yourself on fire. And it's no longer so easy to be affected by acid. And I think that's really nice. I'm always glad to see where, I'm always happy to see developers really kind of like, oh, you know what, this is maybe like an idea that didn't work out too well. Let's go ahead and change that, right? Let's adjust that. And I know people are kind of reluctant to go with something that's still, you know, not a full release, of course, and I fully understand that. But at the same time, I feel like so far these guys have not betrayed my trust in that way, you know? The game isn't very expensive, by the way. It's like $18 or $16 or something like that, depending on where you're from. But it's not like a full price title. So a pretty reasonably priced title. I honestly think for what you're paying, I think you're definitely getting a good deal. All right. There's a chest over there. There's also like a really strong, scary enemy over here, which... Oh. All right. Let's go and see if we can get this guy. Ah. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of got myself into a bad position right there, I have to admit. Alright, let's hope that we get a good run. Now again, there's a lot of secrets in this game. I could show you some right now, but I really don't want to, right? I think the fun here is that you kind of like figure it out yourself. So, just to kind of like give an example, this isn't really too much of a spoiler, but there's like a full kind of like hidden alchemy system in the game. And it's pretty complex and it's really neat. It's a bit difficult to like honestly, let me just be completely honest with you. You're never going to find it on your own, right? Like, it's the kind of thing where you'll have to, like, look it up on YouTube or something like that, right? If you are interested, and I recommend you do that. But for what it is, I think it's actually totally cool, right? Like, it's actually kind of fascinating what they implemented there. And, yeah. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and blow up this. Thank you. And then hope that gets us in there. Cool. So this right here, by the way, is probably a trap. Right, this is what there's some trapped rooms, and this is what they look like. So we're gonna go ahead and pick this up and immediately get out of there. Haha, no. Yeah. I see through you. Oh, that is so super perfect. Oh, we just found a very, very good one. So this right here is the one that's got an awesome projectile. These arrows are just so handy because they do a good amount of damage, but they're mostly just very, very spammable. And in that way, you know, that's something we're looking for. Anyway, we gotta go and be a bit quick about picking up this money. Oh no. I just kicked the money all the way over there. Well, that's not exactly what I had in mind. Alright, thank you very much. Right, but if you look at these arrows, you can see mana drain 15, damage slice, which is damage, right, like 5. And then, yeah, it just kind of like works really nicely. And they've got a negative spread on it, right? And that means we can reduce the spread of a magic wand. So if we find a really, really good magic wand to use with them, well, then they can like even enhance that wand. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, for now, we're just going to go ahead and work our way through this. Oh, alright, to kind of explain what happened there, that's polymorph juice. Alright, so this is something I mentioned earlier. This is another element I really like about the game, by the way, is that the map really feels very alive. Like, everything that's happening feels very, very alive. So if I go in here, that's polymorph juice, and now I transformed into a random creature, you know? And, okay, wow, that's a spooky one. Let's get away from this. But I transformed into a random creature, and the thing about these polymorph juices or all of these other elements that are on the map, all of the enemies, like, they can trigger them too, right? And they are equally affected by it. And I think that's really neat because it just kind of makes the map really dynamic. You know, I feel like usually in video games, everything waits for you, right? But not in Noita. Noita, things are just happening. Honestly, if you just spend like an hour waiting at the starting area and do nothing, and then join into the map, like, and then you actually start running around doing things, you will see that this was a whole battlefield, you know, things went nuts. Because these creatures will not only, you know, fight you, but they will also fight each other. And that can get a little bit silly at time with, you know, fire and explosions and everything going everywhere. Alright, we jump into the water here. Pick up this, thank you very much. And this is a shop that doesn't sell wands, but sells projectiles or spells. Magic Missile, Chaotic Path, Magic Missile, Concentrated Link, or Large Magic Missile. So lots of magic missiles. What is this one like? Cast delay very, very low. Very high recharge time, which isn't great. This right here has a low recharge time. This one has basically no recharge time. So we could like maybe see what this looks like, right? This is always what it comes down to. It's kind of like about this construction of wands, but this one can't support the arrows in the way that we really want them to be supported. If we put them in this first one, to be honest, that feels weaker than just putting it down here, right? So maybe we just take this last one, we use this one, and we even just mix in our other projectiles we had. You know what? Just a little bit more extra damage. Doesn't hurt anybody. Right? Because they do come out pretty quickly. And then we have our black hole here, which you can probably leave on this one. Then we put our bombs back on this one. And then we could think about, do we want to buy something here, right? Concentrated Link. Or we could get also some large magic missiles. Alright, so, this is actually kind of a difficult question. Let's go ahead and try this out. I don't even know what it does. A pinpointed beam of light. Alright, let's see what this does. Oh, wow, that feels pretty powerful. Okay. So it feels like that might be something for one that has a lot of mana. Alright. Maybe we can try it on this one. Alright, and I think this kind of like building and, you know, kind of like creating your ideal weapon is really, really fascinating and a really strong element of the game that I personally appreciate a lot. So, for example, what if we get this chaotic path with this bolt? Ooh, now look at this. Oh, God. Now, that feels kind of funny, doesn't it? I mean, I don't really know if this is particularly useful, but hey, we'll keep it around. Why not? For now, we're going to prioritize building something that's actually a little bit stronger, though, because we want to have a good weapon, right? All right. So that's 10 damage. I just don't really think I have a wand that's strong enough to support this kind of style right now. Oh, by the way, there's actually a secret area down here that you can dig into. Oh, wait. We gotta go then. Oh, it's not letting me. Mana drain 180. Mana max 180. Alright, I guess I probably need to use this one then. Oh, shit. Sorry. I was being an idiot. I had the wrong wand equipped. There we go. Alright, so now we can dig down there. And this is like an area. I'm not gonna do anything with it. Again, I want to kind of like leave finding the secrets up to you. Right? Like you can have some fun with that. Alright, put that back here. And then let's see. We've got Perk Lottery, More Hatred, or Breathless. I'm gonna take Perk Lottery. Nice. So what this does is a 50% chance the other perks don't disappear. And then why don't we get Breathless? And cool, I won't drown when submerged. And also, let's get the last one. Creatures in the world are more aggressive towards each other. So now they're going to be fighting each other more, which is good for us because we want them to fight each other, right? And I think that's cool. Like, I like that the world feels so alive. I think that's a really strong element of this game. In case you haven't noticed, I quite like this game. I think this game is pretty cool. Right? It's not, like, I'm not going to go ahead and say it's like the greatest roguelike ever, but I see a lot of potential, right? And that's the thing. It is still in development, and honestly, while playing this game, and I haven't been playing it for that long, but I mean, at this point, how many hours have I put into it? I've played it for 11 hours, right? So I've played it for 11 hours, and even in that time, you know, or the past week or so, the game has actually gone through quite a bit of development. It's actually gotten better. Like, just noticeably better. And that's good to see, you know, that's exciting. Alright, the creatures are actually kind of like killing each other right now. There's a lot of money down here. Hell yeah, hook me up with that. Oh, also, we have to be a little careful. There we go, thank you very much. We just took a lot more damage than I really want to take. I want to get that wand. I don't know how. I guess we can try to bomb our way in, but that's probably going to use too many bombs. I don't think that's going to be worth it. Oh, there's another one. Alright, that one just uses one bomb. Oh, maybe not. Depends if my bomb actually, like, worked. Alright. Yeah, that should be good enough. So what is that? We've got Spark Bolt with Trigger. The wand itself is actually really nice though. It has a ton of mana, right? Like if you look at the values on this thing, right? It's got 360 maximum mana and 95 charge speed. With a pretty decent cast delay and recharge time. That's not that high at all. Capacity is low, but it might be fine to put these two in there. And that's kind of what I'm looking for right now, you know? I'm kind of looking for a wand that can support my chaotic beam of light there. That seems not quite terrible. Alright, get also these. Thank you very much. Oh. Alright, be careful, be careful. Don't want to get caught out. You know what? I've got enough money. I feel comfortable. Oh. Get in there. Alright, we're on fire. Don't worry about it. Into the water we go. Alright. Okay, so what do we have? Energy Sphere with timer. We've got Touch of Oil, Firebomb, Explosive Projectile, or Formation behind your back. So, we've got this with a trigger. Like, so what this does is a Spark Bolt casts another spell upon collision. Right? So we can kind of use that, you know, to like throw out a whole bunch more attacks really, really quickly. And also this thing does... No, it doesn't do more damage, but yeah, it's just kind of like better. And then we can actually take this. Alright. Now that actually... I don't know. Maybe the chaotic path isn't really an improvement right there. Maybe just go with that. Touch of Oil. Energy Sphere with a timer. We can do... You know what? What if we take this Spark Bolt here and mix it in there? Ooh. Now that feels kind of interesting, doesn't it? That doesn't feel too good. Look at that. Now it shoots both of them. And one of them, like, creates another one and bounces people. That seems kind of interesting. Explosive projectile behind your back. Like, the one problem with this one, though, is that it doesn't really have a lot of slots, right? Like, having more slots here would be good. So let's I gotta be honest, I don't really think anything in this shop is particularly exciting. So for now, I'm gonna be skipping out on it. By the way, you might be wondering, why don't I pick this one up right away? I don't pick that one up right away because it doesn't really do anything for us if we do that, right? Like, I want to kind of test out the stuff I get in the shop first, and that recharges our spells. So we want to kind of wait with that. Revenge Explosion, Fire Immunity, or extra maximum HP from Heart. Definitely going to get Fire Immunity, but that's cool. So we're going to go and, I don't know what this does. Let's pick it up. Often when you take damage, you release a magical explosion that hurts enemies. Nice. And look at us. Who has the best luck? That's right. For once, it seems to be me. I am the deadest boy. Alright, well, I was not ready to just get absolutely annihilated by that. Yeah, okay, so to kind of conclude on Noita, right? I think this is a really, really good game. I really enjoy it. I would recommend it absolutely, especially if you like roguelikes. Something you may have seen right there that I haven't brought up yet so far, but it does have some pretty hefty difficulty spikes, and it does get really, really, really hard. So you saw right there, you know, I didn't feel like I was that weak, but I did just get one shot. So you gotta be careful. It is definitely not an easy game, not by any means. But I feel like for roguelikes, that's generally a good thing. But yeah, anyway, that's Noita. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know about if you like this kind of video on. Please let me know what game I should make a video about next. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.